What is up, everyone? Welcome to round 2 of the Sin City Open 2025 Old School Tournament. We're playing Eternal Central Rules here, and boy, do we got a match for you. So let's get into those deck lists. First up, we have the man, the myth, the legend, because he only wrote his initials, DTC. Now, this is a list that I'm having a little bit of trouble classifying, but we're just going to call it the Rock on steroids. It is very much a grindy deck with lots of ways to gain card advantage, mostly through hurting your opponent. There is 4 Hypnotic Specters here, 4 Hymn to Turox, a Mind Twist, of course. 1 Sinkhole Main, which does seem light until you notice the 4 Ice Storms. There are at least 3 Elves of Deep Shadow, but I'm a little curious as to what some of the altars are below. It looks like a couple of Artist Proof that are not flipped. I don't know if those are Landwar Elves or Elves of Deep Shadow, but we'll see once we get into the games what those actually are. For top end, there are a few to choose from, actually, which is kind of cool. There's a Sangir Vampire, a Juzam Jin, a Serendib Ifrit, actually 2 Serendib Ifrit, sorry, and 1 Azure Drake. And for when DTC feels like he's got the board well in hand, there's 2 Nether Voids to keep things a little more locked down. The deck, of course, is playing blue, which is part of the reason why it's on steroids. So there is Time Walk, Ancestral Recall, 2 Power Sinks, and Mox Jet, Mox Sapphire, Mox Emerald, Soul Ring, and of course Black Lotus. We are playing with the full complement of Mishra's Factories and a full 4 of Strip Mines as well. This is, again, EC rules. 1 Pendle Haven and 1 City of Brass. For the sideboard, there are 2 Royal Assassins, 2 Glooms, a Terror, looks like a Control Magic, a Psionic Blast, 2 more Altars that maybe these are actually supposed to be Pixies. I'm still, again, not 100% sure. That would be the full playset of them potentially. 2 Blue Elemental Blasts, 2 Energy Flux, and 2 Scavenger Folk. Overall, a really sweet list full of just amazing art. But enough about this deck. Who's he playing against? Next up is Jason on what he is calling Beast Island. Now, this looks like a Beast Orb combo deck, utilizing, of course, Guardian Beast and its ability to combo with Chaos Orb to get repeatable Chaos Orb flips. One thing I'm noticing here, though, is that there is no Nevin Rawls disc, which is something that I've seen before in these decks, but Jason has opted to not include it here. This is a full 5-color deck, though, which is pretty ambitious. You gotta love that. He is running 4 Sage Latnams to get extra benefit out of those artifacts once they have served their purpose. 4 Copy Artifact, 4 Icy Manipulators, 4 of Mana Vaults, which I imagine do go pretty well with those Sage Latnams to sacrifice them once you feel like not paying for their untapped costs. 1 Divine Offering main, 1 Regrowth, 1 Wheel, 1 Transmute Artifact, a Recall, Fireball, Demonic Tutor, Balance, Brain Geyser, Recall, a Candelabra, which is pretty cool, a full set of Power, Soul Ring, 1 Winter Orb, a library, a whole bunch of lands, including 4 Mishra's Factories. Now, I'm reading off all these because it is a bit tough to tell, especially the sideboard, so I'm going to do my best because some of these are altered and the names are a little hard to read. First off, we have 3 Red Elemental Blasts, a Mind Twist, I believe, another Fireball, 2 Divine Offerings, 2 Disenchants, 4 Control Magics, and 2 Blue Elemental Blasts. Jason, feel free to correct me in the comments below if I missed anything. But yeah, these 2 decks are looking sweet. Should be a fun matchup, so without further ado, let's get into those games. And here we go. Jason is on the left, DTC is on the right, but I'm noticing a name tag there and the mystery has been solved. DTC is actually David. Okay, well, both players now with proper names. We can get going here in the match. I think David is on the play. And looking like a pretty slow hand to start. I see Nether Void, a bunch of lands, maybe a few other things. I think that's a Strip Mine. I have both players' deck list pulled up because both players have a decent amount of altars. David definitely having more extreme ones, although, of course, Jason playing a Soul Ring. Christmas themed. This was actually right after the holidays, so still in the spirit. All right, I think he just drew another Strip Mine, but he's going to play a Mishra's Factory instead and pass. Now, notably, Jason did not play a single land into the Strip Mine, maybe not having one that he potentially wants stripped. There's a Tundra. When you save that mana for a bigger turn 2, but instead is just going to pass. And this is the question, does David strip here? He does not. Taking your opponent off of blue could be good. Although we know Jason... Oh, alright, there's some land destruction with an ice storm. Jason does not have counter magic, right? I didn't see any in the main. No, he does not. Maybe just posturing for effect, because he did have blue mana up. Now David does have a couple power sinks, but no way to cast them right now. I don't even think he has one in hand, really. Okay, we're gonna tap 2, and let's Time Twister. Get a fresh 7. You've earned it. Now, Jason getting to take advantage of this the most, for sure. Both players playing with fully powered decks, mind you. He did already play a land for turn. Will he be able to do anything impactful this turn? Still has a lot of power left in the deck. Still can potentially play Copy Artifact to duplicate the Soul Ring if he wants, or something like that, to help him ramp out further. We'll see what he's hoping for here with that. And we get a little cut and a fresh 7. Notably though, David didn't play out any of his power, so he could be drawing into a really nice hand. Oh, there's a Black Lotus, there's a Mox, there's some more land destruction. That does seem very nice. Looks like he might have drawn one too many. Oh, and there's a hippie too. How about a threat to go with everything? Alright, tapping a blue. Plays out a mana vault. What are we gonna do with that vault? Just gonna pass. Okay. Not the impactful hand I think Jason was hoping for. But now does have a full grip of cards again. Let's see if David could take better advantage. Okay, first off, strip your volcanic. Play out the Lotus. Play out the Jet. Oh, he also has a Juzam Jin. I missed that. You just play out the Juzam, put your opponent on a 4-turn clock. Plays another strip for turn. Gonna crack it for 3, 4, 5. Just having everything 6, 7. Plan out. Alright, gonna play out the Juzam and the hippie. Yeah. Alright, might as well. Balls to the wall. Your go. Okay, plays out another volcanic island. Tapping 2 for a winter orb. That orb a turn too late, unfortunately. The main threats are already on the battlefield for David, but that will help. Having an icy and the mana to activate it means at the very least Jason gets to choose how he's taking the damage this turn. Okay, so what does that mean for David's turn? We're gonna icy the Juzam. Makes sense. Draw for turn. There's a power sink. There's another factory that does get played out. Yep, just reminding him that you still get your jet. Looks like stripping the volcanic, taking Jason off of most of his colored mana seems good. Red is not a super vital color for him, but it looks like the Hippie is going to get in. Are we just going to pick? Yep. No need to roll. Ooh, that is actually a really good hit. Yeah, taking care of the orb means, unless Jason has a way to get it back, which he does have a recall and a regrowth, but it will slow him down a bit. No infinite orb flips this time. All right, plan on land. A bit more glare on this table than when I originally had it set up. I wonder if something got shifted. Or maybe these are just extra shiny sleeves. Usually when I set up, I try to avoid any overhead lighting. But maybe these sleeves are just a little extra warped. I don't know. David's look good. At the very least. We can kind of tell what's going on. There's a winter orb, there's an icy, there's... yeah. Some power. I think this is a factory that just got played because it's signed by both artists. All right, there's a recall. Speaking of ways to get the orb back, how much are we recalling here for? Just one, or do you want to get your twister back as well? Just one. Oh, I guess that works too. That is a way to get them both back, technically. Okay, so Icy's up. We got mana to use the Icy. And we're just gonna pass. Hit the Juzam on your upkeep. And Jason just getting ready. Like, I don't have any more mana. You're gonna hit something with the hippie. Okay, that is the... is that the third strip? I think so. David drawing very well here. Keeping his opponent off of most colored sources. Little cheers here before deciding. Alright, what are we picking? Ooh, Sage of Latinam. Alright. That would be a good way to get back into the game for Jason. Being able to sack some artifacts, not doing so much. But then again, the artifacts are keeping him in the game, kind of, except for that vault. That vault's definitely done him more damage than almost anything else. I mean, that hippie's been pretty good. All right, there's the recall. And yeah, David being a little unlucky not to hit that with the hippie, but Jason very happy to see it, I'm sure. Hopefully draw into way more outs. That was a very risky play that I'm just now fully wrapping my mind around. The fact that Jason was counting on that whole thing coming down to a coin flip, basically. Especially risky considering that David has so much hand disruption. He has 4 hymns and a mind twist. Alright, both players getting a good shuffle here. Having a good little chat as well. That is one of the nice things about old school, and I would say even pre-modern, is the people are just friendlier. I played a good amount of competitive Magic, still do, but man, do I enjoy pre-modern and old school events. It's just way more of a chill time. We are playing for bragging rights, but also a really cool championship ring. I'll see if I can throw the video of the ring up on, or a photo at least, up on the screen by the end of the video. Very cool prizing. They did one for a ring for the pre-modern tournament. There was a sorcery tournament, which I've never actually learned how to play. I bought the intro box. Never did anything with it. All right, looks like Jason's just gonna pass. Tab the Juzam, and that Juzam is keeping Jason in the race as well, I would say. Okay. David finding all kinds of goodies. Are we gonna finally find out what that altered artist proof is? Oh, there's a hymn. Yeah, that seems very good. Obviously, Jason would have played out any power he would have had. Or any mocks, at least. Alright, hitting a Mana Vault and another Icy. Stripping again, because of course he's found more strips. And get in for 2. And hitting another Sage. That Mana Vault will stick around to ping another day. Are we doing anything else here? He does have mana up. He hasn't used the factories. Okay, we're gonna crack the Lotus. What is that? And another Void. Okay, that must be either a land war over, whatever it is. Jason has seen enough. We're gonna go to game number 2. Okay, here we are in game number 2. I do love those Amy Weber artist proofs and like custom art for sure. I have actually one for Shatter, but I thought she usually at least writes the name of the card. I don't know. I've been looking at getting an Ancestral Recall of hers just because there's no way in hell that I'm going to be able to afford a real Ancestral Recall anytime soon. Oh no, it looks like Jason is going to be mulliganing here. Well, hopefully he can get a keepable 6. But yeah, I'm still not sure exactly what those cards are in David's sideboard and also main deck. That, I mean, that card, if it was a Landwehr Elf or if it was a Pixie, definitely did not cause Jason to scoop. It was 100% the Nether Void. But still. Okay, we'll see if we can get a keepable 6 here. For those of you wondering about the playmat, by the way, this is a 30th anniversary Spellground map. I did not, unfortunately, get all these artists and people to doodle on it and sign it. This was something that Spellground did for their anniversary. If you're not familiar with Spellground, well, it's a bit weird you're watching old school, but welcome if you're new. Spellground, of course, being the original, or at the very least, the most successful playmat creator in the early days of Magic. Then falling out of favor for whatever reason, getting more popular with like Yu-Gi-Oh players, but recently has seen a bit of a resurgence, especially I think partially due to just people rediscovering their hobbies as they now have more income. I know that's definitely really true with pre-modern for sure. All right, we'll see if we can get a keepable 6 here. But yeah, still really happy to have this map. This makes a great travel map because of all the cool art on it. It doesn't show the fold lines as well because I can't fit something this big in a suitcase rolled up. It's got to fold up, which is a bit unfortunate, but is what it is. And I hope you guys are enjoying the travel setup. Hopefully the quality is comparable to what you are used to on the channel. It's definitely an ongoing process. I have ideas on how to improve it for next time as well. I do feel like in this setup on day 2, things were definitely a bit smoother. You'll see footage from the pre-modern event, which was actually, while in the same location, was in a more crowded spot of the venue and was a little bit more prone to getting jostled. And unfortunately, because this setup is a travel setup, is a lot more lightweight. Okay, so Jason deciding, looks like yes. Okay, we are putting 2 back. I might have missed that. He was on a mulligan to 5. Bit unfortunate, but that's where we're at. So I think I must have cut the first mulligan, but yeah. Anyways, here we go. Mox. Library start. Library, not something you want to see on a mulligan to 5, but it's a land. It taps for mana. Alright. Let's take an extra turn. Functionally, just ramp out 1 extra land, which is enough to play a Serendib. The beats will continue until morale improves, and that is actually a really sweet altar as well. Alright. David will be taking 1 from his Serendib. And there's a Nether Void. That would be backbreaking, I think. He's going for it. Alright, combat first. And how about Nether Void? It was enough to make you scoop last game. How about this game? Oh, and yeah, that's a bit rough. Land for turn, say go. Couldn't really play out anything if you wanted to. You could play out a Mox and then tap 3 for it. But this going exactly the way David drew it up when he built this deck, and exactly like I talked about, the Nether Void just locking down the board once David's got a game-ending threat. And here we go, swinging in. And paying a premium for an Elves of Deep Shadow. It looks like almost like a Uka altar. Oh, yep, correctly calling out. You do have to pay 3 to pay that Mox, unfortunately. Alright, take 1. That factory is gonna be a bit of a beating as well. Choosing to not animate the factory, are we going for an energy flux? Oh no. Alright, well, yep, it looks like Jason is just going to be scooping on cast of the Energy Flux. He's seen enough. That is a clean 2-0 for David. Congrats to David for taking it down. That deck does look super sweet. I love the Nether Voids in combination with all the Mana Dorks, and yeah, very fun. Alright guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to do so. That is the best way to find your way back here for all of the old school matches coming up, as well as more pre-modern, and yeah, just really helps out the channel as well. So if you like what you saw, please consider doing so. If you want to support the channel even more, there's a Patreon link in the video description. That money goes towards travel expenses like going to events like this Sin City Open, upgrading camera gear, especially the travel gear. Again, talked about, we're going to be making some upgrades, and just making more videos in general. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.